In this video, we will continue the series of me talking to interesting people in Los Angeles. We will analyze the way the person is speaking, and you will learn many different idiomatic expressions that native speakers use all the time. I will also teach you some rules related to the pronunciation of those expressions and some general rules about the American accent. And for every expression that you learn, I will give you other example sentences. That way, you can memorize them, and then you can start using them when you're speaking English. There's a lot I'm going to teach you in this video. Let's get started. You will listen to my conversation with Bruce Schoenfeld. Bruce is an alternative medicine practitioner. In the United States, most people practice Western medicine. That's also called conventional medicine or allopathic medicine. But sometimes when people can't find the right treatment or the right cure for the issue that they're having in their body, they seek the help of an alternative medicine practitioner like Bruce. Bruce practices a specialty called Rolfing. When traditional methods of reducing pain have not worked for some people, they see Bruce. He helps them deal with their pain, very often back pain. Bruce is a very well-spoken and articulate man. Articulate means he uses language well. He uses words well. I think you'll enjoy listening to him speak, and I think he's a good person to imitate if you want to sound educated and advanced in the way you're speaking English. You will listen to the conversation that I had with Bruce. I was particularly interested in asking him about how we are using our bodies today in our modern lifestyles, especially related to the fact that we sit in front of our computers sometimes all day, and how that's affecting our back and maybe causing back pain and definitely affecting our posture. That's a topic that Bruce knows a lot about. I think you will find this video informative. First, you will watch the video of Bruce answering my question, and then I will come back and we will analyze the many different expressions that he was using. In addition, we will practice imitating Bruce's accent. Okay, let's watch the first clip of Bruce.
Hi, I'm Bruce Schoenfeld, and I'm a certified advanced Rolfer. My practice is in Santa Monica, California. It's really about addressing your whole body from head to toe. A lot of people have these sedentary jobs where you're just sitting in front of the computer for hours on end and potentially not taking any breaks, and the force of gravity is relentless. In a worst case scenario, your chair isn't really at the right height. There's not a lot of shock absorption at the cushion or the interface between your tailbone, your glutes, and the chair, and you're just kind of not responding to your body's signals that it's starting to get a little irritated, and you've just got to get up more frequently and offset the force of being sedentary with mobility. Just getting up and walking around. You need to take more breaks, which can be short breaks, and what you said couldn't be more truthful in the sense of the old story was your workout needs to be something that's 20 to 30 minutes and is very robust, but in fact, something is better than nothing. Just a little walk around the park is better than no walk at all. Stand up, wiggle around. Standing up and dancing is great. Do a flight of stairs. If you like yoga, bring your yoga mat. If you just want to crawl around, that's terrific. I'm basically saying that you're built to move. You're born to walk. You're born to run. You were born to be active. You're not designed to be sedentary. So in some very generalized way, I feel like science has spoken to us, and it's basically just said exercise. It's good for your body, it's good for your brain, it's good for your blood flow, it's good for your psychology.
Let's look at the word address. Bruce said it's really about addressing the whole body.
It's really about addressing your whole body. It's really about addressing your whole body.
First, let's look at the pronunciation of the word address. Sometimes this word is pronounced address, and sometimes it's pronounced address. Do you know the difference? When we stress the first syllable and we say address, it's a noun. So for example, I can say, please give me your email address. Or what is your address? But if we say address when we stress the second syllable, that's a verb. I need to address this envelope. But Bruce used it like this, to address the whole body.
It's really about addressing your whole body.
And to address means to deal with an issue, to give attention to an issue or a problem. He addressed that issue at the last meeting. He addressed that issue at the last meeting. The next expression Bruce used was from head to toe.
From head to toe. From head to toe.
Let's pronounce those 4 words as only one word, and let's reduce the O in the word to. It's going to be t. Repeat after me. From head to toe. From head to toe. And that means the whole body, the entire body. He's dressed in black from head to toe. He's dressed in black from head to toe. The child is covered in mud from head to toe. The child is covered in mud from head to toe. The next expression is for hours on end. And Bruce said, you're just sitting in front of the computer for hours on end.
You're just sitting in front of the computer for hours on end and potentially not taking any breaks for hours on end.
Let's say that together. For hours on end. Let's connect all those words. We're going to reduce the O in for. We're not going to say for, we're going to say for hours. For hours on end. And that means for a long time, for many hours without stopping, continuously. You can also say for days on end, or for weeks on end, or for years on end, when something continues for a long time without stopping. Those boys play video games for hours on end. The next word is relentless.
The force of gravity is relentless. The force of gravity is relentless.
He said, the force of gravity is relentless. Let's pronounce that word correctly. It's a little bit difficult because we have 3 consonants next to each other in the middle. Be careful how you pronounce that T. We don't pronounce it too strongly. We don't say relentless, but at the same time, we don't eliminate the T. We don't say relentless. We have to hold it like this. Relentless, relentless. Let's say that again. Relentless.
The force of gravity is relentless.
The force of gravity is relentless. The word relentless means persistent, constant, something bad that keeps going on and doesn't stop. To relent is to stop doing something bad or harsh or cruel. But if something is relentless, the bad thing keeps going. It doesn't stop. I'm tired of the relentless noise. I'm tired of the relentless noise. The next expression is worst case scenario. Let's listen to the way Bruce used it.
In a worst case scenario, your chair isn't really at the right height.
He said, in a worst case scenario, your chair really isn't at the right height. Let's pronounce that correctly first. We don't say worst, we say worst, worst. Don't pronounce that O. It's not or, it's worst case. Worst case scenario. And that means the worst or the most serious thing that could possibly happen in a situation. That's the worst case scenario. Even though we don't expect a big earthquake, we're prepared for the worst case scenario. The next 2 words that Bruce used were offset and sedentary. Let's listen to how he used those.
You've just got to get up more frequently and offset the force of being sedentary with mobility. And offset the force of being sedentary with mobility.
A sedentary person doesn't move very much. They're sitting all day. If you sit in front of the computer all day in your office, you have a sedentary job. So he said instead of being sedentary, we should be mobile. That means we should move. We should have mobility.
And offset the force of being sedentary with mobility.
To offset means to compensate, to do something in order to restore balance. So if you're sedentary all the time, you need to offset that by mobility, by moving, by exercising. They laid off some employees to offset the cost of production. They laid off some employees to offset the cost of production. His lack of skill is offset by his speed. His lack of skill is offset by his speed. Let's listen to the next expression Bruce used.
What you said couldn't be more truthful. What you said couldn't be more truthful.
He said, what you said couldn't be more truthful. I'd like to teach you another way to use this. It's a really common expression. People say, nothing could be further from the truth. Let's say that again. Nothing could be further from the truth. And that means it's completely false. It's not true at all. Nothing could be further from the truth. People think she's in love with him, but nothing could be further from the truth. The next word that he used is wiggle around.
Stand up, wiggle around. Stand up, wiggle around.
To wiggle or to wiggle around means to move from side to side and up and down in fast motions. To wiggle around. There's a common expression that I would like to teach you that has the word wiggle in it, and that's wiggle room. Wiggle room. That's a good expression to know. When you have wiggle room, you make room for other things to happen, especially in negotiation. You give yourself other options. You leave wiggle room. When you're negotiating, you need to leave yourself some wiggle room. When you're negotiating, you need to leave yourself some wiggle room. Is there any wiggle room on the price of the car? Is there any wiggle room on the price of the car? Bruce said, do a flight of stairs.
Do a flight of stairs. Do a flight of stairs.
A flight of stairs is a group of stairs uninterrupted between floors. So each flight of stairs takes you to the next floor. I walk 3 flights of stairs to get to my office. I walk 3 flights of stairs to get to my office. And maybe you know the next expression, to crawl around.
If you just want to crawl around, that's terrific. If you just want to crawl around, that's terrific.
Let's make sure you can pronounce it first with an American accent. In British English, it's pronounced differently. In British English, it's more rounded. Your lips are pushed forward more. It's more like this, crawl. But in American English, it's crawl, crawl. American vowel sounds are different from British vowel sounds. And by the way, if you would like to learn all of the different sounds that American English uses and all of the different rules that you need to follow for a good American accent, you can get the American Accent course, which is sold on my website, accurateenglish.com. I teach you everything you need to know, all the rules that you need to know so that you can speak with a good American accent. Now, let's talk about what crawl means. If you walk on your hands and knees like a baby, you are crawling. So Bruce suggests that we crawl around. It's good for our body to move that way. He can't walk yet. He's still crawling. He can't walk yet. He's still crawling. And now you will watch the second clip of Bruce talking. In this clip, he's answering my question. I asked him what to do when we have to be in an airplane for a long time and we have to sit in the airplane seats. Let's listen to him talk about it, and then I will come back and we will learn more expressions.
Yeah, I'm an aisle seater for exactly that reason, and that's my advice to my clients that have issues. You kind of want to be the person who's back by the bathrooms again, stretching out or just hanging out, because Those seats, if you're not flying, first class, are terrible. They're too low to begin with. So you've got the height is an issue. The interface of your tailbone on the seat itself is an issue. And then there's duration. And that's the perfect storm of bad sitting. Those three variables all working against you. But again, even if they're perfect, you still need to get up more frequently.
Bruce said that when he flies in an airplane, he's an aisle seater.
I'm an aisle seater for exactly that reason. I'm an aisle seater for exactly that reason.
Let's look at the word aisle. Notice the S is silent. Aisle. In an airplane, we have three possible choices of where to sit. We have a window seat, we have a middle seat, or the aisle seat. The next expression is a really common one. I hear people using this one all the time, and I want to make sure you understand what it means. He said, you kind of want to be the person.
You kind of want to be the person who's back by the bathrooms again. You kind of want to be the person who's back by the bathrooms again.
First, let's pronounce it correctly. He didn't say kind of want to. He said kind of wanna. Let's say that again.
You kind of want to be the person who's back by the bathrooms again.
Kind of wanna. Remember, that's an expression. It has a different meaning from he wants to, or she wants to, or I want to. The meaning changes. If you say you want to do that, it means I suggest you do that. This is my advice. This is what I recommend for you. You want to listen to your lawyer. You don't want to yell at your boss. You don't want to yell at your boss. And that means I think you shouldn't do that. Remember, that's a different usage of the verb to want. The next expression is to hang out. Let's listen to how Bruce used it.
Stretching out, or just hanging out. Stretching out, or just hanging out.
He said stretching out or just hanging out. To hang out is an informal expression. It means to spend a lot of time at a place or with a person. What are you doing? I'm just hanging out at home tonight. I'm just hanging out at home tonight. The next expression is to begin with.
They're too low to begin with. They're too low to begin with.
Bruce said that the airplane seats are low to begin with. That means this is my first point. This is the first thing I'm going to say, but I have some other things I plan to say after that. I don't want to go there. To begin with, it's too cold. Also, it's too far. The next expression he used is the perfect storm.
So you've got the height is an issue, the interface of your tailbone on the seat itself is an issue, and then there's duration. And that's the perfect storm of bad sitting. And that's the perfect storm of bad sitting.
It's a combination of different events that create a bad result. That's called the perfect storm. Foggy weather, a young driver, and talking on a cell phone. It's a perfect storm for a car accident. You made a film. You're a filmmaker as well?
I made a film really about the world that I work in. It's called The Secret Life of Fascia. It's to help my clients and other people's clients understand a lot of the questions you're asking me about today, like how does the body work? It's about using your body in a more diverse way, in a more dynamic way. I'm easy to find. My name's Bruce Schoenfeld. I'm in Santa Monica, California. I practice at Sundance Physical Therapy, which is on Pico and 22nd Street. My website is advancedrolfing.com. My movie is available at thesecretlifeoffascia.com, and you can just get linked up to everything there.
You learned a lot of different expressions in this video. I like making these types of videos because I believe they're really going to help you to take your English to the final level of fluency. As you can see, people use these types of expressions all the time, and the more expressions you know, the less likely you're going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said, Or maybe sometimes you have that expression on your face where you're smiling and you're nodding your head like you understand, but you really don't quite understand the message. Very often, that's due to the fact they're using expressions like this. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell to find out when I release my next video. Thanks for watching and keep practicing your English. To learn all of the rules for a good American accent, you can buy my online video courses at AccurateEnglish.com.